Good evening. Thank you for joining us. I'm Brandon Thompson. Let's get you started tonight, continuing to follow the most destructive fire in Colorado history. That's the Marshall Fire. Boulder County officials announcing some people can go back to their homes tonight. And Taylor, we're just learning from El Paso County Clerk and Recorder Chuck Browerman that there is indeed an investigation ongoing from the Secretary of State's office. And to understand why, let's break down the timeline. CSU says there is not a problem with the system infrastructure as a whole. They're constantly looking at pipes around the city because this is not ideal. And it happened in stages. First, a couple investigators along with the mobile crime unit showed up. Those investigators knocked on the family's door. The family let them in, and a few minutes later, the family got in two cars and left. Will you be filing any charges?
Again, we're just part of the task force.
How do those two work together? The association says they want to lower costs, but you're saying they make too much money?
We, of course, want to lower costs.
Right now, we're getting more information from Boulder following a mass shooting at a local King Soopers.
The police department is set to give an update to the public, which we'll take you to live right now.
It was a pretty wet summer.
Yeah, and is doing a lot of lifting there because the fine fuels like grasses, they are ready to burn right now. And this is the fire department's reason for fire restrictions. You get those grasses that might catch fire, that could spread to the bushes and create a brush fire. Hey, we finally got snow here in Colorado Springs, snapping us out of our nearly record-breaking snowless streak, and some people couldn't help themselves but to celebrate in the frozen flakes today. Fox 21's Rachel Sauer went around town finding out some winter weather warriors out there. Rachel, I knew I wasn't the only one excited for this today.
It's just like sad because like somebody lost their mother, you know, on like right before Mother's Day.
A birthday party tragedy in Colorado Springs early this morning leaves 7 people dead after a gunman opens fire inside of a home. Good evening. Thank you for joining us for Fox 21 Local News right now at 9. I'm Brandon Thompson. 6 people were killed when a man sprayed bullets through a home during a birthday party, according to Colorado Springs police. They say that man turned the gun on himself and took his own life. Investigators believe he was the boyfriend of one of the victims. No children were hurt, but several were in the home when it happened, and the tragedy is rippling through Colorado Springs.
Just can't believe it. It's just like happened right here. Like, it's crazy.
Daniel was on his way home from work when cop cars sped by, going right to his neighborhood.
There's just like cop after cop, and there was like probably like 10 or 15 cops.
The police responding to a gunman spraying bullets at a birthday party, killing 6 people before turning the gun on himself. Police are investigating a motive and believe the suspect is a boyfriend of one of the victims. The children inside were not physically hurt, but Jennifer Reyes could hear their emotional pain.
You could hear how they were crying to their parents.
Well, it's just like sad because like somebody lost their mother, you know, on like right before Mother's Day. I don't want that happening to my family, you know.
A city left in mourning. Colorado Springs Police Chief Vince Niski says words fall short to describe the tragedy that took place this morning. And quote, "My heart breaks for the families who have lost someone they love and for the children who have lost their parents." Mayor John Suthers saying he's mourning for the victims and says it was a senseless act of violence. Garcia says he gets along with his neighbors, a Hispanic community that shares their homes and their meals.
Everybody just gets along. Like these neighbors right here, we all get along. Like we all talk to each other. It's a pretty tight community. Rest in peace to the people that died, you know.
Hello.
It's a meal.
It has both breakfast and lunch in it.
That means more today.
You guys are amazing.
Than it has.
Thank you so much. You're welcome.
In quite a long time.
Our need is very high, but even more than that, right now when we're not in school, school can still bring such stability in the form of food right now.
Giving kids a meal.
We like to give them a variety. If they don't eat meat, we've got their vegetarian.
And parents, peace of mind.
I think it's really important right now that we all come together to support our community, and parents are able to come to a friendly place, see friendly faces, and know that their needs are met for food, so parents can focus on other things during this time.
Because in El Paso County,
I have 7 kids.
nearly 40% of kids get meals from school.
They call us their lunch teachers. You're not a lunch lady, you're a lunch teacher.
Thank you.
At Centennial Elementary,
We fed 100 kids today, breakfast and lunch.
it's 90%.
In a normal school day, we feed virtually almost every student.
Sometimes the kids, that's really just what they get.
So while schools are closed,
You ready to come back to school? Yeah. You're bored, but you're not ready to come back to school, huh?
a nutritious meal
Carrots, kiwi, a cheese stick.
from a familiar place
Hey, honey,
makes all the difference.
it's a good group of people. We're like a family. We take care of our little family.
Reporting in Colorado Springs, Brandon Thompson,
Bye, guys.
Fox 21 News. A new Class A high-rise office building is being proposed to be built in downtown Colorado Springs. It's very early on in the process, but if this is approved, a 25-story residential building would become the tallest building in Colorado Springs. Fox 21 News is the only one speaking to the developer about this project. He's a Colorado Springs native, and he tells me they want to make sure it fits in. At the corner of Costilla and Saguache,
we've got to continue to work on our downtown.
There isn't much here just yet.
We're about building up our downtown, and we feel this is our contribution to the community. And we see this as a necessary growth plate that we actually will see other buildings spurred, other activities, other things supported.
The project O'Neill and his group of investors are proposing is two buildings. One, a 10 to 12-story office building that would become the 6th tallest building in Colorado Springs, and a 25-story residential building that would be the city's tallest.
You know, I wasn't excited about it. I think that, you know, I don't want us to be like Denver. You know, I don't want us to have huge, skyscraper-type buildings everywhere.
Strand abstained from last week's vote in the Urban Renewal Authority that ultimately allowed the authority to further research the project. And because residential floors are shorter, the building would beat the Wells Fargo building by less than 20 feet.
So we will see just another staggering effect of up and down and up and down. A good visible skyline, something that we took into account to build these buildings.
The Urban Renewal Authority had already felt that these areas were ripe for development.
Development that's apparently needed. Apartment vacancies are low, and office space has a vacancy rate a fraction of the national average, according to Tatiana Bailey's analysis of the project.
It's 1/5 vacancy rate almost of what the national average is, and part of that is because we didn't overbuild before, like some other areas did, like some other cities.
O'Neill was born and raised in Colorado Springs. Part of his desire to build is to bring companies from other cities to his hometown.
We realize that to bring them here, we have to offer them the same environment that they potentially came out of. And our community needs some refreshing downtown.
I love having the project to begin with. It's just a great measure of what we're doing as a city to have all of this interest, whether it be downtown or other areas of our community as well.